Hello and welcome to the Astroflower. This is going to be a reading about the Gemini season, because we're now going to be doing it in seasons rather than months. So I'm not going to be doing monthly readings anymore. It's going to be doing season readings. And we're just coming into Gemini season. So this is going to be a reading for the next sort of 4 weeks. This is a two-part video. So this first video is all about the elements, the qualities that make up your Astroflower and make up the Astroflower of the Gemini as well, and how it corresponds to your sign. And then after that, on a separate video, we will be doing the actual pulling of the cards. So without further ado, let's just get into Gemini season, shall we? Gemini. A mutable air sign. One thing you'll notice with Gemini is that they have the mutable air at the surface of your flower, and at the base of the flower you have Gemini fire. Okay, in the rest of the petals, in the rest of the flower, there is no air whatsoever. So it is what we would call a full sign here at the Astroflower. Now there is 4 full signs. There's Gemini, there's Sagittarius, there's Capricorn, and there's Cancer. Okay, there are 4 full signs. There's 4 pure signs, and there's 4 mutable signs, as it were. Not mutable. 4 what do you call them? And 4 straight signs. Okay, so that's the first thing we should notice here. Obviously, for certain signs such as Taurus, and we will be going in, this is all about the earth signs, and obviously Taurus, Gemini is right next to you. There is a huge amount of influence between you and Gemini and yourself. You share a lot of elements, but not in the same position, which makes you completely different. But it's just to sort of say that for certain signs, when you're dealing with a sign that's next to you, there's certain aspects that you will understand, but not in the same way in which you experience them within your life. Okay, so Gemini, you'll notice on one side you have all cardinal energies going on one side. So you have the cardinal energies that are coming up through here, which is that cardinal water and earth coming from Cancer, and then you have that cardinal air fire coming in from Aries. Now on the right hand side, on the relationship side, you have all fixed signs. So you have this earth that sort of goes round there, which is fixed, and that comes from Taurus and Leo. And then you have that fire that comes in, that goes round here, that fire that comes in, and that comes in from Leo and Taurus. Okay, so when you look at a full sign, you can now start recognizing that you have a lot more fire going on than you do in than air. So actually, Gemini is a false fire sign. Okay, and to understand best how it combines with other signs, we have to understand the how elements are the cycle of elements, is which I'm calling it. Now you have a constructive or productive element cycle, and you have a deductive cycle, and then you have a transformative cycle. Okay, so air is consumed by or deducted by earth. It is transformed by fire, and its production is water. On a productive side. So you have this. You have these 3 types of elements, 3 types of cycles. Sorry. So it's a little bit like the yin and the yang. One is productive, positive. One is deductive, negative. And I say positive and negative in a way that's not really, nasty and good. That's not how it works. It's just means of production and reduction. And then you have the line that goes through the S that goes through the yin yang, which is the transformation of the element. So when air is sucked through fire, it is transformed into water, or helps water to be released through the fire. And as I say, earth consumes air. So how does this happen in nature? If you look at a tree grows through its photosynthesis, where it takes on air, it retains the carbon and releases the oxygen. The carbon then is used to create branches, leaves, etc., etc. So it consumes air, if you like, the tree, and it creates wood from it. It uses the transformation of water, the tree, in order to make that creation. The active ingredient is the sunshine, the fire, which is the transformative sort of thing for this situation. On the other sense, on creative, you have, if you take the fire scenario again, you take wood, and yes, the wood is being burnt by the fire, and it is consuming, more than anything else, it's consuming the carbon that is stored within the wood, along with the water. And that releases the water out of the wood as the air is then transformed into humidity or precipitation or rain, as it were. So that is the positive and negative. There's always a yin yang aspect to all the elements. And this is the same thing for cardinals. This is the same thing, for qualities. In the qualities, you have 3 different types of qualities. In the astrology, you have cardinal, mutable, and fixed. Cardinals tend to go off in a direction. Sometimes they don't look particularly where they're going. They just go. Mutables flitter and can go between being a cardinal and being a fixed. It can play on both sides of the story. And fixed is all about retention, all about holding back, obviously being the name as fixed. Okay, so you have this on the relationship side, the fixed side, and you have on your financial side, on the material world, engaging in the material world, you have cardinal. Okay, let's just go on to see how the elements combine. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take Taurus into consideration. So let's just have a look at the Taurus sign. Obviously, Taurus is a fixed sign. It has fixed earth at the top and fixed fire at the bottom. Has this cardinal fire that comes in from Aries through the middle of them, which is their neighbor. And you have that that cardinal water and earth that comes through from Cancer. On the relationship, on the financial side, it's very much more sort of mutable. You have this energy that's coming in from this water that's coming in from the pure sign of Pisces and the mutables, and then you have the mutable fire and air coming in from Gemini, which is what we're talking about. If you want to know more details on that, please go and have a look at your Taurus season reading, you'll be able to see that a little bit more detail on the actual signs of you. Now we're going to go into where we're combining it. So the solid colors that we can see in this section here, these solid colors here, they are your sign. The slightly opaque colors or shapes are the sign of Gemini. Okay, so let's work on from the outside inwards. And this is where we're going to start to understand. So let's get into Taurus here. You have that fixed earth, which is combining with the mutable air of Gemini. As I said earlier on, earth consumes fire, consumes air. But at the same time, air can consume earth in a certain sense where it releases the water of what it actually consumes itself through the process of a fire and etc. So it can go both ways. More often than not, it will try to go the positive route in the physical, in the material world, and sometimes in within the energy world or the spiritual world, it tends to go the other way. There tends to be the opposite. As much as when we see in astrology, and you look up into the sky, the ages of the signs goes Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, goes one way. And when we count it in calendar, in astrology, it goes the other way. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, etc. that way. So there is this mirroring factor, but it tends to go in opposite directions. So first of all, you have this fixed earth that is consuming air. It is that you are consuming what the energy is giving you in the way of mental energy, because that's what the air energy is all about, and converting it into things that are very practical and useful within your life, both on your relationship side as and on your financial side. And these are end results. These are the interaction with the outside world. This is what makes up the personality of Taurus or any sign, basically. But down below, and this is where we start really combining the elements, you have double fire. So you have the fire of your good selves and the fire of Gemini. There is also, let's take one petal by one petal. Petal 1, you have double fire, double earth. Petal 2, you have double fire, double earth. That is your karmic path. That is the influence from the universe, from the big plan, as it were. The big plan of the universe, basically. Excuse me a second. Just need to redo that. The big plan of the universe. Okay? So you have this double fire, double earth, double fire, double earth, and then it starts getting mixed up on your financial side, on your karmic path. You have fire and water. Water consumes fire. Earth and fire. Fire consumes earth. So you have two elements here on your karmic path, on your financial side, on your material side, which you have a total control over. In fact, you have a total control over all of the base here. Because on the influence in the universe on your financial side, you have a double water, double fire. And the mutable, because it's an influencing element here, the fix will override it. Okay, so at your base, as in the influence in the universe and your karmic path, this month here is you have a control over the direction that you take. And it's all to do with the fundamental things. Because once we start moving above that into, let's say, petal 5, here we have that earth and water, earth and air on the outside, the double fire, double air, double earth, sorry, and double fire at the base. But above it, you have the water and the fire. Yes, water has consumed fire, but at the same time, fire and water do not really mix. And it is almost as if like fire can then sometimes consume water. It's a very fine line between those two signs because they are much more transitory than earth and air. So we have this sort of element here that's going between the past and the future. You should have a very clear vision about and direction of your emotions, of what you so wish to bring forth into your life. And that will stimulate the fires, that fixed fire, which you know incredibly well because it comes from you. You will be able to get direction out of that. On the inside of it, you have that cardinal fire, which comes in from Aries, which is within your sign, with the fixed earth of Taurus, which is in Gemini, which is you within Gemini. So this is where you have total control, in theory. Obviously, your fixed earth is on a combination between the material and the relationship side. So it's slightly different to how you use your fixed earth in the connection with the outside world. But it also helps you to progress and push it forward into another world, to create something new for you. The tricky thing here, and this is the most trickiest of things, is that you have that cardinal earth, then water from Cancer, which is the influence from Gemini, and you have that Gemini air and fire that is within you, Taurus. Now, fire, air and water do not really mix. When fire is not present, you end up with ice. Okay? And this is why this cardinal fire that's coming in here from Aries, which gives you that work ethic and calculation side of your life, is really important because you get a double whammy. Not only is it coming in here, but also it is coming in here from the influence in Gemini. So it is floating through your physical world, and your physical world will be affecting your material, your relationship side. And as we've seen with the sun and what's going on with the sun, fire is pretty important at the moment, and so is air. Okay? And if you look at your sign as well, Taurus, you only have that mutable air coming in from Gemini, just above. And this is where this month here, I think it will be the most active or influenced by the Gemini season. Therefore, it may at times put you in a position where you have to sort of kind of going, yes, no, within immediate decisions that you're making. And sometimes you can get caught between two chairs. So I would be wary of that. Okay? We will see this in the tarot reading in the second video. Okay? So yeah, principally, I think because you've got mutables running through your financial side and influenced by cardinal running through your financial side, I've got a funny feeling this is where you can get a lot of benefits without having to put too much effort into life. Where you can get a lot more direction is on your relationship side. But it will all depend upon that mutable air coming through you. So there you go, Taurus. Let's just move on to Virgo. Here we have Virgo. Thank you very much. I will see you, Taurus, by the way. I'll see you over at your seasonal reading, your Gemini seasonal reading. It will be out today, same time. I would suggest you watch this video first. If you watch the other one, you're seeing this. I would have suggested you watch this video first than the other one. Okay, so here we go. We've got Virgo. Virgo, you got your mutable fire, your Earth, with and it's pure Earth all the way round. You're that pure sign. Okay, Virgo, Cancer. Did I say Virgo, Cancer at the beginning? I don't know. Sure if I did. Virgo, Cancer, Aries, and Pisces. Okay, so I got a funny feeling I didn't say that at the beginning when I was talking about pure signs, but anyway, you'll see. Okay, so you have this pure fire, Earth, that is the way in which you engage in life, and this gives you that sort of that desire for perfection in everything you do, because Earth is definitive. Fire is in movement, air is in movement, water is in movement. Earth doesn't move really in general. There is instance, but it tends to be under the influence of another element. And what you have, which is different to Taurus, is you have your cardinal energies on your left-hand side, on your financial side, and you have your fixed on your relationship side. This cardinal energy comes in from Libra, that comes in all the way there, and then you have Cancer that comes across in this section here with the water and earth. This bodes well for because you are mutable. It's probably the easiest for Virgo to get the best out of Gemini season than all the earth signs. Okay. On the relationship side, you have your fixed energies. Now you have your fixed fire that comes in from Leo, and fixed earth that comes in from Leo, and then you get your fixed water and your fixed air coming in from Scorpio on your relationship side. This crossing point here, as it comes in with a fixed fire, fixed water, fixed air, and fixed earth, you have all of the four elements. And this what makes you very good at networking, very constant, reliable in regards to networking. When you connect with people that you want to connect to, you really do. When you don't want to connect with the people, you don't. And it's very straight for you, within you. Doesn't necessarily reproduce through your mutable earth like you so desire, but then that's the quandary of life in a way. Okay, let's just see how this mixes up with Gemini. First things first, you'll notice that on the outside you have that earth, which is your component over the mutable air of Gemini. You will be consuming the world in multitudes of different ways. I think it will be a very busy time, sometimes a little bit too much going on. And that's why and I've been repeating this within your weekly readings as well, it's got to be very clear for you the direction that you should be taking, both on your relationship side as much as on your financial side, but even more so on your financial side more than anything else. There is the other big difference that we have from Taurus, is that you have the earth, your mutable earth with the mutable fire of Gemini, your mutable water, air, that comes in from Sagittarius, which comes in this section here, which is combined with the mutable air of Sagittarius as well. So it's a double mutable air. This may sometimes be diverse and very stimulating from the universe. The influence from life will keep you busy. There's a lot of things going on for you. After that, you have your fixed earth and your fixed fire within your sign. And then after that, you have your fixed air and your fixed air and your fixed earth from Leo within Gemini. Okay, so this here on your karmic path on your relationship side, you will decide how much earth you put into the situation. So basically, it's how much you put into your relationships will determine how much passion you get out of it. It will also be determined about how much manifestation you put in through the control over your mental energies in regards to the fixed earth that is coming into this section here as well. Okay, because you will have to invert things. This is where it become a little bit more complicated for you. You have to convert the air into that fixed fire, to get the best out of the situation. So this is where you've got to stay true to yourself rather than being consumed by the world outside. Above that, you have that fixed water coming from you, but it comes through Scorpio, with the fixed fire. Now, obviously, fire and water, as I've already said, doesn't really go together, but although water will consume the fire ultimately. And then above that, you have that fixed fire and fixed earth, which is really good in regards to how you can consume, as it were, the earth that is being provided by the universe that is around you. Above there, you have that cardinal air and that cardinal water coming in from Cancer as the influence. Okay, so those two don't really mix as well, as I explained earlier on. And this is where you need to be very clear in your thoughts, what you want out of your relationships and how it should be reproduced within your life. And this will give the best option for your fire, for your earth, mutable earth on the surface, to get the best out of life, basically, and how you get the results that you so desire to live. And this is all about manifestation, really, of how you manifest things. On your financial side, if we go from the base, you have air and water, similar sort of situation, which you find up in your relationship side. Air and water, so this is where you need to be absolutely defined about what you want out of life. Do not get involved in the emotional side. Do not get carried away in conflictual situations that doesn't really bring you anything in reality. And then you have that fixed fixed earth, and that fixed water coming in from Cancer as well. So this is all about sort of providing a home, constructing your career, constructing your projects, really building from the base, basically. On your influence in the universe, you get fire and water on the inside, mutable, and earth and fire on the outside. So it's all about how you interact with the world that is around you, and you will be the determining factor upon that. Above here, in the transition between the two, the past and the future, you get cardinal fire with cardinal water, and it's the cardinal water comes from you. So basically, if you want things to really be moving along, you have to be very clear about how you put your emotions into your job, your business, and your projects, basically. Then above that, coming in underneath, you have that fixed fire and fixed earth. And this will give you a constant growth factor, where you will have enough earth within you and around you to allow your passions to drive you forward. The the guiding factor is that cardinal water that comes through. That's where you got to be absolutely clear about where you're going in the way of emotionally in regards to your projects and business and etc. And Gemini is providing that cardinal fire that's coming into you. And that will give you the direction for your emotions through your passions, which you can see just under petal 10. So this is just the surface of your subconscious, basically, where you can really interact with it and see how you invoke the possibilities in your going future. Okay? I think that is the most important thing here. That there and that there. I think this cardinal stuff is going to be the most important thing. Obviously, the other thing which is quite important is in the way in which you, in this section here, in your karmic path, of how you decide to engage or what you decide to engage in regards to your relationships. And I think we'll see that play out through the next sort of 4 weeks of the Gemini season. Okay, so you will have your Gemini's tarot reading season for the next 4 weeks. That will also be coming out today. So once you've seen this, it will be linked around my head at some point, or at the end of this video. Okay. We'll also be doing another video on Cymatic TV about how elements are played with energetically. Okay. So you'll be able to see that on Cymatic TV. Let's get on to Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn. Welcome. Cardinal sign. You're one of these full signs, which is the same as Gemini. So there is a certain understanding, a certain degree of understanding of processing that you will have with Gemini, and how you process things. And I think this is where you find common ground with Gemini. That you if you look on your sign here, you've got cardinal earth at the top and cardinal water at the bottom. Yeah. But you actually have more water than you do earth, sorry, because you have that water, that mutable water that comes in from Pisces there, and then you have that water that comes in from Scorpio, and that water then that comes in from Aquarius, which is next to you there. Okay, so you actually have more water in your sign than you do earth. The exceptional thing, and it is the only thing with Capricorn that no other sign really has. Another sign that comes close is probably Cancer, but Capricorns tend to have almost equivalent of 25% of each element. It's very, very stable all the way through. And this gives you your persistence and your perseverance. Okay? On your financial side, you've got that fixed energy. Water and air. Okay? On your relationship side, you have the mutable. Now that's where you have your fire that comes in from Sagittarius with the air underneath. Another false sign, it's a false element sign. And then you have the water that comes in from Pisces. So here is where your emotions run deep and you are heavily affected by relationships, but on a deep level. Because you've got that cardinal earth that is above you, that is where is your interaction with the outside life, people don't tend to see these deep emotions because you're constantly moving forward. Even if it's slow, sometimes you're constantly moving forward. And that is one of the traits of Capricorn in a way. And also, the thing that caps it is this fixed air at the top, which comes in from Aquarius. And this gives you that sense of religious side of life, spiritual side of life, that it has to be within your relationship side. It has to be logical within the mental compartment in order for it to work for you. So all of this mutable stuff that's going on at the lower echelons within your life and the deep part of you to do with your karmic mission and your connection to your guides and so forth has to have some sort of fixed logic to it all. Okay? Let's just see how it combines with Gemini. Here you see here the mutable air of Gemini and the mutable fire at the bottom. This is it can work in exceptionally well. Gemini season for you, Capricorn. It's the last of your spring season before you come into your summer season. So things should really be moving on. Your plans for the year should be really nicely embedded. You must be starting to see some fruit, some results from the plans that you've made. So when it starts on your birthday is equivalent of your new year. When you start your plan, you should see some of these fruits coming through now. The flowers are being pollinated. You can see the first fruits that are starting to grow. Because if you look at all the signs, over here you've got your fire over earth and your water and your air over fire. Okay, coming through here you have your water over your fire and your water over your earth, over Gemini's earth. Yeah. So you're actually really controlling most situations, or the capacity to control most situations within your relationship side as much as on your financial side, because on the base and your connection to the universe, you've got that cardinal fire that comes in from Aries that is consuming the mutable earth of Gemini, and you have that cardinal water which is coming in on the mutable fire, which is on Gemini. So you are emotionally with the world around you. If you've got a direction for your emotions within your relationship side, the universe will provide enough passions going forward. And then you have to convert those passions in accordance to what you want to do. And that's when you can see it as well, where you get the water on top of the earth on your karmic path, on your relationship side. The water and earth go together, it becomes a very much more sort of productive, fertile land. And then the air over the fire. Now this is allowing you to transform. And this is why, if you've got that direction going on in your connection with the universe, you can then do a very good transformation with that fire and air in order to make all the rest work above it, which in a very, very positive way. Because you've got air over your water, which is consuming, and then you've got water over your fire down here, water over your earth, sorry, which is obviously very, very fertile, transformative. And then you have your air over fire, also transformative. So on your financial side, and this is what we're looking at now, on this side here, it's a real month for transition for you. It is a month to bring things forward. It is a month to really take the ideas that should have already the concrete background element in it and take it on to another level. Really get your business going, getting your career path going, getting your projects going. There's a energy is really working for you here and working in a really, really good way. So that's on the transformative, on your karmic path. Once you get above here, you've got the water over the fire. As long as you stay emotionally fixed in the way in which you deal with the world, the cardinal fire that comes into you, you will be able to use that passion in a very explosive, constructive way. And then you've got that fixed air over the cardinal water. Similar sort of situation there. As long as it's logical for you, within you, and it works for you, you can take on the emotional direction of the projects, which is going to feed actually security within your relationship side. And then above that, you have that mutable fire with the fixed earth above it, which allows you to use, and this is where the sun comes into play. The fire is very present at the moment, and it looks like it's going to be very present for the start of Gemini season and going right into the middle of Gemini season, I think. And this is where you can use your passions in life as like a valve, depending on how much you want to put in, depending on how much you want back. And I think you need to be very selective about how you do that. On the influence from the universe, you have that your own cardinal water on mutable fire. Very good for you again. And then you have the cardinal air on the mutable water, which is really good as well for you. But at the same time, all of this can, as I say, there's a yin-yang factor. If it doesn't work, it's not going to work spectacularly. So I would be very sensitive about your karmic paths and how you can transform your karmic path into reality in your life. I think that will be the key to your success on both your relationship side as much as on your financial side. In your interaction with everything that is around you, direction will be consumed by air, so it will be very stimulated. It will give you a good connection with the world that is around you, very a lot of vital energies that are going on in the way in which you connect with the physical outside world and the way you connect with the spiritual world. Whichever way you connect, it's going to be very, very productive in one form or another. That's why the base is so important. If you get the base right, then the connection with the outside world will be absolutely brilliant. If the base isn't right, if you're not paying attention to your karmic path during the Gemini season, it's going to be the opposite. It could be a little bit too dried out, your earth, because that's the opposite sign of air, with air on earth. It could be dried out, a little bit too heavy, being stuck in a rut, that sort of thing. This is why it is a good month, Gemini season, to transform things. Okay? So there you go, Capricorn. I will see you over at your Gemini season reading. We're all new to this. I'm new to this in the way of presenting it. I know the Astroflower very well, but I'm gradually getting my head around how to influence and how to convey this information. It may be a little bit disjointed from my side. I do apologize about that, because it's pretty new to me in the way in which I present it. And it's incredibly deep, the Astroflower. It's not just about tarot. You can take it to so many different levels. It is phenomenal common tool as a tool. So yeah, I hope you get the best out of all of these. I will see you over at your Gemini season reading with the tarot cards, or I will see you over at Cymatic TV for that video concerning how you can deal with these elements within the energetic world. Okay, that's in accordance to the sun, accordance to the vibration of the earth, accordance to our vibration of ourselves, our chakras, and our aura. Okay, so we'll get a lot more sort of detail on your energy, on your energy, and how you can interact your energy with the energies that are around you. Okay, So I will see you there. That will probably be coming out in the next couple of days. Won't be coming out today. Will be coming out usually tomorrow. Yes, but there you go. We'll see how it. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you here, whichever way it is. Thank you very much for being here with us. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the support that you can give to this channel through the YouTube. And that could be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, of course. Whichever way it is, it's a way of being the Astroflower. And I do appreciate and I thank you for all the input that you give into the Astroflower family. I will see you there or see you here, whichever way it is. Don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.